A woman must always respect her man, show respect to her man, communicate to her man with respect, even when he doesn't deserve it. Even when he doesn't deserve it. Man, I'm just really coming out with all the controversial statements, aren't I? Now, there is of course going to be a lot of women who are like, what did you just say? What are you talking about? I'm not going to respect no man when he doesn't deserve it. What the hell are you talking about? If a man wants respect, then he needs to earn that respect. He needs to deserve that respect if I'm going to give it to him. Otherwise, I'm not giving him no respect. All right. Well, you're going to have whatever mindset that you want in a relationship. But I guarantee you, 100% guaranteed, if that is your mindset in a relationship, then you're not going to get what you need. You're not going to be cherished. You're not going to inspire a man to step up and become better, become the best man he can be for you, learn to be in integrity all the time, learn to fully take charge to ease your burdens. You're not going to get that. To help women understand why this belief is really toxic, this belief that a man has to be respectable before she can respect him, I'm going to flip it around. Should a woman be loved by her man even when she is not, we'll call it being lovable? Yeah, I know that's it's a bit different than what we're talking about, right? And I'll use my relationship as an example, right, with my wife. When I started polarizing my relationship, it was very hard. We'll put it this way. It was very hard to love her because she was doing so many things that were disrespectful and irritated the hell out of me. And, I wasn't getting what I needed. I was just getting so much resistance and blame and judgment. And at that point, I was like, I'm really just trying to become the best man I can possibly be in this relationship. I really want to make this work. I really want to meet all of her needs. I really want to take care of her. I had seen the truth, the polarity and everything. I was like, I'm going to do everything to be the best man possible. And I was getting all of this crap from her. So I would say in that dynamic back then, my wife was not very lovable. It was extremely hard to love her. Now, it would be really easy for me if I was irresponsible as a man to be like, she doesn't deserve my loving care. She doesn't deserve my love right now, my attention, my consideration, my emotional centeredness, because she's just being kind of terrible, right? She's not deserving of this. And of course, there's a lot of men out there with that mindset. So a woman's got to show up fully for me to be a man for her. No, if you choose to be in a relationship with somebody, right? If a man chooses to be in a relationship with a woman, he needs to choose to continue to love her every day, in every situation, even when she's showing up as, we'll call it, not lovable, right? Love is more than a feeling. It's an action. So I am choosing to act with love in every moment, which means leading with love in every moment. That doesn't mean I'm perfect at it now, and it definitely doesn't mean I was perfect at it then, but I would try my best because that's what being a responsible, devoted man is all about. So I'm loving her even when she doesn't deserve it. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm enabling her BS, right? That doesn't mean that I'm letting all of her judgments and other stuff go. No, I'm going to be correcting her, and I have corrected her and all of that stuff. But I did it all with love. It's always got to be with love. I'm not going to punish her. I'm not going to penalize her. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. I'm just going to remain in my power and lovingly correct her, because that's what a man should do. Now, let's flip it back again for women. When a man is not being respectable, right? It's so easy to get into that mindset of, okay, I'm just not going to respect him because he doesn't deserve it. Okay, good luck. You're never going to have a healthy relationship, ever. You may as well just break up with him now and stay single the rest of your life. Yeah, it's a little bit of tough love for you, but that's the truth of it. It's like, you're not meeting his needs. Why would he ever be inspired to start stepping up into that role of being truly respectable, right? And once again, respecting a man, just like loving a woman doesn't mean you tolerate her BS. Respecting a man doesn't mean that you're a doormat, right? It doesn't mean that you just expose yourself to abuse. It doesn't mean that you just comply with things that are going to hurt you. It doesn't mean any of that, right? But it does mean that you're always communicating with respect. It means that you're always using feminine communication no matter what. It always means that you are trying to submit, to be submissive, and when you can't because you'd be dishonoring your heart, that you use feminine communication to explain what's going on, right? So that he can feel your respect, so that he feels that inspiration to want to love you, to want to take care of you. Now you're not doing it for that reason, because obviously that would be manipulative, but that's that's the end result of that. And that's what being a responsible woman is all about. And so, I know that can be a difficult message to hear. And of course, I work with hundreds of women clients. So I get a lot of the situations that women are in, right? Situations where men are just really not stepping up, that are really not respectable, right? They're really, really not respectable. They're not in integrity. They're just kind of shitty and like bad behavior, right? And obviously there's a range of it, but just a woman's not getting her needs met and everything. Yeah, I get that. It's really hard. That's really hurtful. It's really painful. That's really, it brings up a lot of sadness and anger and resentment and all of that stuff. And the way out of it is to learn how to operate on your side of the street. It's to learn how to respect a man fully, communicate fully with respect. If you can't do that, you're never going to get anywhere. And I want every woman that watches this video, I want every woman, period, but I want every woman that watches this video to actually do something about what they're currently experiencing and shift your love life, shift your relationship, shift the way that um your relationship with respect, like how you respect a man, because you can do that, but you need to first take full responsibility and stop waiting. It's all this waiting thing, like a man, oh, I'm gonna show up and love her when she's lovable, like that kind of mindset. No, because he's waiting. When you do that, you disempower yourself. You're disempowering yourself when you do that as a man, and you're disempowering yourself as a woman when you're like, oh, I'm just going to wait for him to finally step up before I start respecting him. No, no, you're choosing to be a victim. You're choosing to be passive. You're choosing to not see your responsibility in anything. I'm not going to answer this first question. It's a good question, but I don't want to go over time here. I want to keep it under 10 minutes for once. If they reach out to you, oh, this is the same question. If you reach out wishy-washy, yeah, it obviously depends. It depends if you want a relationship with them. If you want a relationship with them, then show respect. Like if you think there's any chance of it. If you don't, then don't talk to them. It's that simple. Break up with them if you're in a relationship with them. Don't communicate with them if you're not in a relationship with them. But otherwise, if you're choosing to interact with them, you're choosing to be in any kind of dynamic with them, then show them full respect. It's that simple. Now, this is what we help women do in our polarized communication masterclass. We help women get out of that disempowered mindset and the kind of hopelessness of like, oh, there's nothing I can do, that, which is a very frustrating, unpleasant place to be in. There is so much that you can do. There is an unbelievable amount of things you can do. You can start learning feminine communication. You can start learning your side of the street and start learning how to be the feminine woman that you were meant to be. And it's not even for him, right? We think of respect like, oh, it's all about him. It's actually for you more than anything. Because being respectful is going to feel good for you. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but it's going to feel good for you. Not being respectful, it's not going to feel good for you. It's not going to feel good for him. It's not going to be good for the relationship. So we're showing you how to stay in that feminine energy, which is all about you. It's all about your pleasure. It's all about you just letting go of all of that control and stories and other crap. If you haven't joined us for a polarized communication masterclass, join us for the next one. Our next one's in September. We're going to spend 2 hours teaching you how to respect a man, how to stay in your feminine energy all the time. We're going to do role plays, demonstrate role plays for you to show you what this communication looks like, so that you can shift your current dynamic, whatever you are not getting. You're not getting the safety, the consideration, you're overwhelmed, you're burdened, you're whatever. Man's not fully loving you. He's not fully stepping up for you. You're just not feeling good in the relationship. You're feeling like a man. You're feeling like a roommate. You're feeling like whatever. Let's end that. Let's end that. Let's end your suffering. Doesn't have to continue this way. Go to relationshipyourdreams.com. Book a spot for the masterclass. Show up, and it's going to be the most informative 2 hours probably of your entire life. I'm going to teach you all about feminine communication and how to shift this, how to empower you to shift what you're currently experiencing. I will see you there.